My pen just got into a fight with my asthma inhaler, and my asthma inhaler won. And now that I realize it, I think that can actually help me with discipline. So, thank God you found this video because I'm going to give you a different outlook on discipline, right? Okay, cool. So, basically, if you struggle with discipline, you don't actually have to. You just need that childlike fun that you used to have, right? And before we continue, I will let you guys know that I have my notebook here full of stuff so I don't get off track, because we know how I get when I get off track. I start rambling, I start talking. Okay, cool. Right back to like the actual video. All right. So basically, people on the internet look at discipline like it's a punishment. Like you have to do boring stuff in order to get ahead, and you have to do stuff that you don't like to do. And okay, I know I kind of said these type of things, but when I sat down and I realized, like just today, this came into my head just this morning, I was like, wait a minute, okay, um, just have fun, because whatever you do with your life, whether it be a change journey, whether it be doing a new hobby, a new skill, you have to have fun with it. You can't stress over like the small things that may or may not matter. What I'm saying is that you basically have to be flexible, right? But you also really, it's important that you hone in on that childlike fun, right? Because as adults, we don't really like to have fun. We kind of take things kind of serious, but as a child, they are curious. They like to learn. They like to be hands-on. That they like to have fun, as we already mentioned that, you know, like 30 seconds ago. They like to have fun. And it's like that same mentality can be applied to discipline, right? And it's just one of those things. Like for example, right? Now, I know I talk about my morning routine, my daily routine, and all my other routines that I do throughout the day, right? But I started off with just one thing, which was reading, which I already explained in another video. But I started off with one thing, which was reading, and then I collected other stuff along the way. And each habit kind of reminded me of when I was a kid, when I would recollect, or not recollect, but when I would collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards, right? When I was a kid, I was a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan, right? And, I always wanted an elemental hero deck, but I settled for a graveyard deck, which I really did cherish. Also, drop in the comments what was your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh deck. If you built yours, if you bought yours, what was your favorite deck? Let's discuss Yu-Gi-Oh decks. I'm not the most enlightened Yu-Gi-Oh person, but I do like to learn about other Yu-Gi-Oh decks and stuff on the side. So if you have any of that, let me know down in the comments below. But anyways, yeah, I used to collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and in time, it seemed like I was collecting my habits the same way that I collected the actual cards, and it was like the most fun thing. Like, it was fun to see what else could I do, what other card can make this deck perfect, what other habit can make this system of habits worth it, like, right? Like, all of that, it was great. It just opened up a whole lot of doors for me to do other things in the future, right? So just remember, that's what you have to do. Collect habits as if you're collecting that thing that you always wanted to collect when you were a kid, or if you were into Pokemon cards or Beyblades or whatever else, right? Do that. That's how you acquire habits, to acquire discipline and clarity and breakthroughs and whatever else that's out there. That's how you do that. Okay. So now that we have that established, really ask yourself, think about it, right? Kids can have fun in any situation that's given. It could be the most dire thing, right? If you give a kid a cardboard box, right? That could be a car, that could be a plane, that could be a boat, that could be anything, right? What I'm saying is also, along with that childhood, like, along with that childhood fun and that childhood curiosity, you have to make a game out of it, right? You have to make your habits like a game. Now, I'm not gonna say just gamify your habits, but what I'm saying is, it's kind of like when you and your family, it's kind of like when you and your family would sit down and play Wii Sports, right? And y'all would play like Wii Sports bowling. Then you and your dad might play Wii Sports boxing or golf or tennis, which was my favorite, right? So I'm just saying, right? Make a game out of it. And y'all gotta remember like Wii Sports, right? Like y'all have to remember Wii Sports. Like Wii Sports was everywhere. Wii Sports was I think the most selling Nintendo Wii game that came out because it came with the Wii. So I think like y'all have to remember like Wii Sports. Drop a comment also. What was your favorite Wii Sports memory? I'll share mine. My favorite Wii Sports memory was, it was me and my brother, and my grandfather taught us how to basically, like, not beat the game, but how to always get strikes. So what you would kind of have to do is kind of like line the bowling ball up, right? Like accurately line it up so that you were facing the right side, right? And then you would have to kind of like get it in between, I think, the first pin or like the middle pin behind the first pin or something like that. And then you would just kind of roll the ball and it would knock all the pins down, because see, my granddad was a bowler. So he knew how to bowl and he played in tournaments. And so he taught us this method, and the method actually worked in the game, and we would get like strikes and turkeys and Thanksgivings and or whatever else they actually have, right? So it was crazy. So again, side note, leave your favorite Wii Sports memory down below. But anyways, right? So let's say, right? Let's say you're trying to lose weight. Okay. Now, the biggest breakthrough that I've personally had, and I kind of always talk about, is counting calories is actually really fun. Like, I find it to be a game because I see a number and I'm like, okay, can I eat what I want still, but not bring the number all the way down? Now, I don't always eat unhealthy. I try to eat clean from now on because a lot of foods don't actually make me feel good anymore. But let's just say, for instance, you are at a place and they have pizza, right? All right, now everybody likes pizza to some degree, right? Whether it's pepperoni or cheese. And okay, let's say that you eat, now, yeah, let's say that your calorie count is about 2,000 calories, right? All right, cool. And you have 2 pieces of pizza, which is roughly about 350 to 400 calories, with the pepperoni as your topping, right? If you eat 2, you can still eat like a lot of stuff that isn't high in calories. Like you can still go home, cook a full meal, eat that. You only gain like maybe 300 more calories, maybe 4, and you still have room to kind of like go. So it becomes a game of what can I get away with, and that's the fun part, because you can manipulate the numbers how you want, and it's like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. No one ever told me this information though. That's why I'm telling y'all, because you can do this same thing as well. You can play with the calorie counts all day long, eat what you want, and still lose weight. Let me tell you, I was 270 in November of last year, right? It's July, like 21st, right? And I just weighed myself before this video. It said that I'm 222, and I had pizza today. So come on, that's a real world example. I'm 222, right? I was 270. Now I'm 222. I'm about to be 221. I'm like 222.2. I'm about to lose another pound. So it's just like, yo, you can still do a whole lot. And that's how it is with discipline. Make it a game. You can kind of twist and, turn and see what you can and can't get away with. And before you know it, you've built this discipline. You know what you can and can't do. You might as well just do the things that you can do. It becomes a game. It doesn't have to be this rigid system where you got to be a stone statue all day long. You don't got to do that. Like you can make it fun, because at the end of the day, if you don't make it fun, you're going to stress yourself out, and you're not going to want to do the things that you really want to do in order to get ahead. So this is just another option for you. Now, you could be rigid. I mean, there's days where I'm very rigid, where I'm like, no, I have to stick to this and this and this. And for most of my days, I am pretty rigid. But you do have other options, and I like to give people other options, because everybody isn't the same, right? You can be different from me, I can be different from you, but you can still have discipline and still do a whole bunch of cool stuff while I'm sitting there stone statue all day, right? You can do a whole bunch of stuff. So that's what I'm saying. You have options, you have breathing room, okay? So you use it to your advantage, okay? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying with this video. So to close this video out, no, but in actuality, like, basically collect your habits and your systems like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, because you might just wind up with a full deck, or you might just wind up with some better habits, which will help you build better systems, which will help you build, which will help you compound your systems, which will bring you much abundance in your life when you get to that point. Remember, if you ever have to question, if it's working, it's working. Remember that. You learned that here from me, right? And just remember, engage in your childlike behaviors. Again, do that, because when I played with my action figures, my inhaler and my pen, right? When I played with them, it took me back to a place where I was the most imaginative, where I was the most creative. Like, I wanted to be a storyteller. I thought I was going to really be one. I mean, I am one, but most of that was brought out when I would play with my action figures, because me and my cousins would create whole storylines and all of that just from playing with action figures. So the main point, once again, is you just need to tap into your inner child and really have fun like how you used to, because having fun is the crux of life, I think. No, yeah, that sounds right? That sound right? Okay, yeah, that sounds right. So with that being said, if you got any value out of this video, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe, the Holy Trinity. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.